Hello and welcome to Sorcerer's Workshop, where we are always cooking up something new for you to use in your next D&D adventure. This is a bit of a different video. I am going to be painting a miniature. I'm not making a miniature today, I am painting a miniature. Now, do not think I am a professional, that is why I chose something, this Dwarven Cleric to be exact, which is maybe a little bit easier. Maybe, well, we'll find out. I would say, maybe a journeyman painter at this point. I'm probably past basic, but I'm not anywhere mastering this stuff. But hey, you know, it's a basic guide by a basic painter. You know, this is what I'm trying to replicate. I doubt it will happen, but you know, I'll switch some things out. But that's the sort of look I'm going for. I'm doing a time-lapse also because this took about 2.5 hours, I think, to fully paint and it to dry. I mean, to paint over it again. And I don't think you really want to watch a 2.5-hour video. This is a full time-lapse. The only times that you'll see a blur cut is either when I'm changing the paint and there's a very long time where I'm just not doing anything, or my arm is starting to hurt a lot, so I just have to put the paintbrush down for a few seconds. I just cut those bits out because they're not very interesting, of course. Now, the first thing to painting is you want to have something that you can put the miniature on. You don't want to hold the miniature because that's, you know, you're going to get paint all over your hands and it's just, no. So I use a golf ball because it fits really nicely in my hand and it's just a really good size. You can use literally whatever you want. I've seen loads of different people online use all different things, from corks to like little professional stands which cost money. I don't want to buy them, so I just use a golf ball. So the colours I'm using, so the blue for the lightning, I'm using a very light tan for the face because this is a dwarf that has been in the mines and not seen a lot of sun in his life, so he's still pretty light-skinned, but there isn't much skin because he's got a beard, very big beard at that. So I've just gone over the boots at the moment, but I am carrying on with this sort of this. It's yellow ochre, which is almost like a yellow, but I add a bit of tan to it to make it not as shiny, not as goldy, but still sort of bright. This is a high up. He's a cleric, so you know he's not just a miner, a dwarven miner or something. He has got some prestigious sort of stuff. That little bit of yellow there, that was a mistake. That's supposed to be sort of a blue color, but hey, also color in the instruments he sort of has at the front, bottles and stuff like that in a yellow. Now moving on to the armor. It is in a sort of a cobalt blue sort of color that I do it looks like chain, I'd say, underneath the armor. I would think some of these areas like this are so hard to get to. For this brush, I am using a very small brush because you need to, because they're tiny areas. But I have a smaller brush, which is a extra fine detail brush, but this one is the one I used for the majority of areas. Because it just is. Also, don't worry about mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in this, but the thing is it's paint, so you can just paint over it. Even black, like I made a mistake with, not black, but very dark blue, the color I will be using next, and I just painted over it with yellow, and you couldn't even tell the difference once it had dried. So it's if you fix your mistakes as you go, you're going to be there forever, so don't do that. So here I am just covering the rest, the tailcoat cape, sorry, if you will, or cloak is sort of going to be this blue color as well, and most of the armor and undercoat is also this color. You see I've gone over some areas a few times, like there, I'm fixing up that area like that, just to doubly coat it, but I will put a second full coat on later on. Here is it is a darker blue. I've added a tiny bit of black to the cobalt blue that I was using before. And this is what's going on, like the real chunky pieces of armor, which are on the knees and on the elbows and shoulders. This is going all round here like this. By now, I think we're about, say, getting close to 50 minutes into the painting. It doesn't look like it, but it is. Slow going sometimes. You have to be very cautious. But we are slowly going into all this painting, and the lightning has basically dried by now, so I start doing double coats over the top of it. Here's a general look at what it sort of looks like very quickly. So then I just do a bright yellow over the front of the sort of the I don't know, just the front bit, the front bit of its cloak. Make sure to go underneath because that is quite hard to get sort of up and under the angle and stuff like this. It's really tricky, but you want to not have any white remaining. So here I am going over the top again. The lightning is quite hard because it's see-through, so I'm not sure which areas are just the paint coming through from the front and which areas are like, you know, not painted. I also added that little bit of red to the armor, just to add a bit of variation, not just completely blue, have like these red jewels or something like that. Now I've added sort of a pendant of something, or some sort of circlet or something like that to the to his head, because I forgot about that earlier. I'm going over all the blue again now, as you can see. Blue, 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 blue. This nice cobalt blue. I really like this color. For some reason, it's just a really nice color. So it's really just a process of seeing what colors are the majority or what colors are easiest to get to and doing those first. As you saw, I'm now doing probably the last color, which is brown. You're thinking, well, brown's the beard, the biggest part, but also brown is all the straps. And the straps are really tiny. So this brush is still the same sort of brush. I have a few of them. The same sort of brush which I've been using for the whole thing. Yeah, it's not big, but it's not small. Especially small either, so I'm just going over, making sure I'm not getting on the blue too much, because I will do sort of a mess fix up very quickly, but if I don't have to make a mess, then I won't make a mess, obviously. So now I'm just adding straps. I've added the strap to that circlet, as you can see. I'm doing the hair now. I've started on some of the straps around the sort of top, but now I'm really getting into the tedious straps. I do apologize for it being slightly off screen, slightly blurry. I did try multiple times to sort of make sure it was on shot, but it's very hard when you're trying to concentrate on this thing. I have naturally sort of a little bit shaky hands, not like ridiculous, but they're not perfectly still either. So, and I get nervous when I'm painting these things because I don't want to mess them up, so my hands get more shaky. So I was just really trying to just focus on the miniature, still make the video look all right, but you know, not as much focus on that, because I wanted the thing to look good, so it wasn't just like, the video is good, but what I'm painting looks absolutely terrible, because you want to have a trade-off. Anyway, so I'm finishing off the straps. I've done the belt now, and now it's sort of just the X sort of strap along the back here, so we go across one way and down the other way. That was really satisfying to make, and then the rest of the belt around the back. For some reason, I just really like that, because that fully finished off the back, basically. So that's about what I would call base coating done. That's really all there is now. So I just do a few extra. Now is the fix up. So you see I've got the face fixed up. I do the boots fixing up a little bit because I went a little bit over on the strap there. A few other areas that I'm just checking. The yellow, making it look nice. Around here, like this. Fixing up with the blue, going like this. Pretty much just making sure that no colors seep into different areas. You can go so much more detailed than this, but I have a fine detail brush, but I don't have like a really tiny little brush. I'm yet to get one of those yet. So really the only thing now is to do a few extra details, like put a little bit of orange on the beard, and then really the last thing is my most dreaded thing, as you will probably know if you've watched the rest of my videos, eyes. I like to put eyes on some of my miniatures that I can, just because otherwise it is terribly difficult. So you see here I'm putting the orange on that, but once I've done the eyes, which you'll see in just a second, I'm basically done. Right here I'm just messing that up a bit because it's probably a bit dirty, it's still in the ground, but I do that. After that I'm just adding a few sort of blue squares, which are just sort of symbols of some sort, or just decoration, I don't know. Just finishing up with adding these sorts of just blues and fixing up a few problems which were there before. I then move on to the dreaded eyes. I'm using my extra fine detail brush here. It's a little hard to see because it's blurry, unfortunately. But the eyes are just basically white dolps and then little bits of brown or black sort of streaked across, and then the face is fixed up with tan. Other than that, I want to thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe and like. Other than that, I shall see you next week. Thank you and goodbye.